here I am on the eve of the lunar eclipse, full moon. I've just gone to see my daughter, who has just moved to her dad's in Brighton. I've spent my first evening with her as the weekend parent. And 2 days ago was the anniversary of my mother's death. It really feels like transition time at the moment. It seems a bit like transition in labour, a time of great loss and a time of expansion at the same time. I see the parallel in the sense that any time you lose someone or there's a big change in life, it's a transition. Just like in labour, transition is when you go from opening up the cervix to the uterus pushing the baby down and out. So pushing the child out, as it were, the uterus does it itself, just like life at times pushes us somewhere we maybe don't know we want to go, or we're frightened of going. And 4 years ago when my mum died, I did not know how to deal with that pain. I did not know how to deal with the loss, and I just spent every waking moment I had trying to numb myself one way or another. Any way I could, drinking, smoking, eating, working. I've spent 4 years working so hard, in a way working hard enough that maybe I wouldn't have to feel the pain that I feel. And now that my daughter's gone, age 12, much earlier than I ever anticipated she would be fleeing the nest. And I do hope it's a short-term thing and she'll be living with me again. But all the same, I'm faced at the moment with the fact that she's gone. She's going to be spending at least 6 months living at her dad's. And my day-to-day life is completely going to be different. No school run, no nagging, no have you brushed your teeth, go to this school activity, have you done your homework, blah 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 blah. And it's left me really looking at what my foundations are, looking at what gets me through, looking also at how much of my struggle is motivated by what I think other people will think of the situation. In my most feel sorry for myself moments, I'm thinking, gosh, I'm such a terrible mother. Here I am with a child that hates me so much she'd rather not live with me, and she'd rather live with her dad in a 1-bedroom flat than live with me in a 3-bedroom house. And on the other hand, I think, wow, what an amazing job I've done to raise such a self-assured and confident child. At age 12, she's got such a clear idea of what she wants, what she needs, and she's just doing it, and she's done it. And the conversations I had with my 12-year-old tonight were like, already she's grown up in a week that I haven't seen her. Already she's asking different questions and seeing things from perspectives that I never thought she would be able to. And this is what happens when you're looking after a child day to day. You're so caught up in the rigmarole of all the things you feel you have to do. And you end up in this parental autopilot that even though you made promises as a teenager, as a young adult, that you would be a cool parent, that you'd never be one of those parents that just didn't seem to be aware or awake, here you are in the zombieville of Parental, doing all the things you swore you'd never do, and actually forgetting to see the gift of the person that you've brought into the world unfolding in front of your eyes. We're always hurrying them along, we're always finishing their sentences, we're always, one way or another, without meaning to, and I'll speak for myself, cutting them short, forgetting to just marvel at them tonight I piss myself laughing. I'm sitting in a restaurant with my daughter who has decided she's going to put on a posh voice and just be larger than life. And I'm just laughing my head off thinking, what a character this person is. What an amazing character this person is. And wow, she's my girl. I'm so proud of her. And then I'm sitting with her having conversations about everything from my mother's death to men to marriage to knights in shining armour and the state of the education system. She sent me a really, really cool rap on Facebook the other day, which looked like it was a load of yardy hoodies, and they do this awesome rap about school and how useless most of what they're learning at school is, and why do they need to learn it, and what's so important about it, and why is their future going to depend on it. And you know, I'm watching this thing thinking, oh my goodness, I felt exactly the same way. I remember this. And yet, in the last 8 years of doing the school run, it's completely been deprogrammed out of me, my rebellion. Instead of going, why are you doing this stupid homework? I'm doing, do your homework. You must do your homework, or else this, or else that. And actually, the system's bollocks. There are some good things in it, but it's far too much about ticking boxes, far too much about forcing people, young, impressionable people, to believe that this is the way life is, when it really isn't. It's one perception, one take on life. And let's face it, we all know that most of what we learn at school is completely useless, and actually we don't use it in our daily lives. And I wish, when it was my full-time education part of my life, that I had been able to say to the teachers at the start of the day, the start of the week, I want to learn this. And that the school facilitated me to learn those things. Because then I would have really been motivated to learn. And I wouldn't be trying to learn something I'm passionate about within the confines of a structure that is utterly dull and boring. And I get why kids find it frustrating. I don't think half of the teenage angst that we have is actually really the problem of the teenagers at all. I mean, yes, there's all the hormones and finding out about life and everything else, but most of it is the systems we're trying to push them into. And I'm proud I've got a rebel in my daughter. I'm proud that she's towing the line enough, but at the same time questioning everything. And in many ways, if I do feel a failure as a parent, my failing has come from being so busy with work, so busy with just hand-to-mouth living, that I couldn't create that kind of schooling or educational environment for her that was completely child-led. So that's my appeal really to the future of education, to the future of parenthood, that we wake up, we stop doing what was done to us, that we have the opportunity for some perspective. That's the blessing. The blessing of what's happening right now with my daughter is I've got a chance to step away from the day-to-day enough to actually look at her and go, wow, her living at her dad's right now is going to be brilliant, because it's going to help us to see each other differently. Instead of me being this annoying mother that is irritating and basically a teenager in my daughter's eyes, maybe she'll see me as a woman, as a girl, someone who's just learning about life. Even though I've brought a child into the world, doesn't mean I've got all the answers. And dealing with all those difficult things that none of us know how to deal with. Loss, dying, the state of the planet. The big questions that when you grow up and you're a teenager and you're seeing how scary some of the world is, it's difficult to know what to hook into. It's difficult to know what to put your faith in. And how can we actually support these teenagers, these young young people to say, look, there's lots of different takes on the world, you've got to find what suits you. Equally, what can we say for ourselves when we're faced with situations like losing a parent or losing a child, when everything that you took normal and everyday and just a part of your normal life suddenly changes in an instant beyond all recognition, and everything that was normal and day to day is gone, and you've got to re-establish yourself, re-establish what normal is. I find myself facing what I perceive as a double loss with a silver lining. As I say this, my throat's quite tight. But 4 years on, am I able at the moment to face a bit more of the pain of not having my mum in my day-to-day life? Being now the matriarch, the head of the family as a woman. I'm now the top of the chain. And I still want to numb myself out. I still want to distract myself. And all I see is a pile of work that I need to do. And then on the other side I look at my daughter, as I said, and I don't want to face the fact that she's not going to be there every day with me, even though in some ways it will be a relief to just be able to knuckle down and get some work done. Not having her there is a huge change for me, and it does remind me of not having my mum around. It's interesting. What are eclipses? They're the kind of take you to the edge of somewhere where you look and you go, well, if I go down this route, this is what's likely to happen. Am I going this way or not? Maybe we turn back. Maybe we change our minds. I'm hopeful. And despite the fact that, yeah, there's a lot of feelings there that I still don't quite know what to do with. And the easiest thing for me to do, although it's so hard, is to just keep throwing myself into what feels like the chaos of my working life. Never-ending list of demands, of things I've got to do, in all the different roles I have. The greatest distraction. And yet my soul just wants to be, my body just wants to rest. And I'm torn between creating a program where my whole day is structured every day so that I can get past this chaos of work, as I mentioned, and actually create some order. What do I do? Do I rest? Do I create the order? I've made so many lists. I just kind of want to dump it all right now. But I don't really, because I love it. I just want to break from some of it. It's big lessons, so many lessons all in one go. And the silver lining is really the gifts, the learning that's coming from all of this. Just the fact that I spent 4 hours with my daughter and we didn't argue once. The fact that she didn't want to leave. The kisses and the cuddles. Beautiful things. Beautiful things. And I'm open to them. So I have the choice to feel very, very sorry for myself and lick my wounds and drown my sorrows, as I've done one way or another for 4 years, or to hold that space, hold that part of me, breathe deep and accept everything. And yeah, when I've got that little surge that comes once you have rested, if you really let yourself rest, you wake up and you're like, right, let me get this done, da 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 da, let me get this done, da 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 da. You just do. It's about listening to the rhythms of our bodies, listening to the fact that there is a time for everything. And if we trust that timing and just accept where we are along that road, whatever road it is, the time will come for the next bit and the next bit and the next bit. But to really hold the preciousness of this moment, whatever we choose to do with it, because it is precious. And to notice where our attention is. Is it in the thoughts in our heads? Is it in the feeling in our hearts? Is it in both? Is it somewhere else? That mindfulness of being present. So many lessons, so many lessons. I'm grateful for the learning. I'm grateful that I'm seeing actually that the things that I've feared the most, although they're painful, they have been such great teachers. And actually we don't need to fear the worst. We need to embrace every step, every experience for the learning that's there, the gift that's there. And to give thanks constantly for everything that's good in our lives, everything we're blessed with. Because there are difficult things happening everywhere. And there are also beautiful things happening everywhere. Often in the same spot. I said to my daughter, I said, scared is sacred scrambled. A high priestess once said that to me. And I was talking about a fear of snakes I had, and Scarlet was talking about a fear of spiders she has. It seems to be coming from somewhere. And it's really overwhelming. But the whole scared is sacred thing is really saying the things we fear the most, we have the greatest opportunities to learn from. There's something sacred, there's something gifted within that fear that we can work with and embrace. And right now I'm just really proud of my baby girl. I'm really proud of this beautiful young woman unfolding in front of my eyes, thinking, wow, somehow, even though I thought I was no good at this, being that I have been her primary influence, I can't have been all bad, because she's amazing. And of course she's had her dad, she's had her grandparents, she's had a lot of support in her life from other people and influences, including school and amazing teachers and friends. But the majority of the influence has been me. And even though I've been feeling like in the last few months things have been such a strain between me and her that I have just been at the end of my tether, even having just this little bit of space has created the space for growth and beauty and appreciation, and I'm just so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, universe. And in losing my mum, right to the day she died, I never stopped blaming her and giving her a hard time for so many things. And of course the guilt I felt as the years have gone by and she's not here, for everything that I've put her through. As my own daughter challenges me, I realise what a challenge I was for my mother. And now she's not here and I can't attack her with my words, I can't attack her with my blame. I can understand why she went. I can understand why she went. And I have a different relationship with her now. One where I only think of her with love. And one where when I miss her, I feel her in my heart. I feel her close in a very different way. As my friend Patrick Hauser said, getting used to my new relationship with my mum. And there's the reflection, the mother, the daughter, transition, loss, labour, moment of labour and birth, this transition from life on the inside to life on the outside, kind of prepares us. It's like a microcosm of the macrocosm of life, of every time we struggle, every time we have to go through a huge struggle, a time when we've outgrown something and we need to move into another realm, another paradigm, and yet we resist it, yet we need somehow to be pushed in order to grow. And just as I am at times prone to the glass half empty, glass half full analogy, think of the American Indian fable. Heard it, and I heard it from various sources, about an American Indian chief talking to the grandchildren of the tribe about the two dogs, a lovely, beautiful dog and a fierce dog, fighting in his head. And they're fighting and fighting and fighting, and he asks the children which one will win. And the children think about it, and in the end he answers, the dog that will win will be the one that I feed the most. It's true. In life we'll get ultimately what we focus on. We will reap what we sow. When you look at it like that, it gives us a lot more power than we realise we have. And the other fable, or the other story I think about, is the one about, I don't know, some children of God looking over the abyss of life, knowing that they've got to jump and take flight, and being told by God to jump, and then replying, we're too scared, we can't. And again, God asking, go, jump, fly. And again, they state their fears, they're too frightened, they'll fall, they'll hurt themselves, they might die. And in the end, God pushes them, and they fly. There's labour, there's birth. There's that time, that transition time, where we're at our most open, our most vulnerable, where we know a change is there, it's imminent, and we're right in the process of it. Just like when you're going up on a roller coaster, and just before you feel those cogs change gear and go woof down, that moment that you know it's coming, the excitement that comes with it, and the rush. Woo! That's kind of where I feel I am right now. So I honour my mother, I honour my daughter, I honour all the gifts that both of them have given me and are continuing to give me. And I honour and I bless life, and I say thank you for the lesson.